Hi there. Today we're looking at Terraforming Mars, designed by Jacob Fryxelius and published by Fryxgames in 2016. Rated in the top 100 board games of all time, Terraforming Mars is a game where players take on the role of a mega corporation with the goal of making Mars habitable for future generations. The box I have here is an all-in-one storage solution and looks different than the retail base game box. However, all of the components I'm about to show you are from the base game, with the exception of the sleeves. Sleeves are not included with this game, but are recommended. Players will start the game by either choosing a beginner corporation for new players, or if they are an experienced player, will choose between two standard corporations. This will tell them how many mega credits they start the game with, and any additional benefits or actions they will have throughout the game. At the same time, each player will be given 10 project cards. New players with beginner corporations keep all 10 cards, while experienced players with standard corporations choose which cards to keep, paying 3 mega credits for each kept card. Each player also receives a player board to keep track of various resources and sets the production marker for each resource to 1. These are mega credits, steel, titanium, plants, energy, and heat. In order to terraform Mars and trigger the end of the game, players must raise these global parameters to their needed levels: oxygen, oceans, and temperature. Whenever a player increases one of these parameters, they also gain 1 TR, or terraforming rating. A player's terraforming rating is the same as their victory point score at the end of the game. At the beginning of the game, these parameters will be set to their lowest levels, and there will be no oceans on the planet yet. Rounds are tracked by generations using this marker starting at 1. Each player starts with a terraforming rating of 20, indicated here on the TR track. Each round, or generation, consists of players taking turns activating 1 or 2 actions. Players may do any of the following as an action. Use a standard project. These standard projects are always available for players to use during their turns and as many times as they can afford to do so each round. Players may sell patents by discarding cards from their hand and gaining 1 mega credit for each. Players can also spend the required mega credits to increase their energy production, increase the temperature, place an ocean tile, place a greenery tile, or place a city tile. When placing a tile on the map, there are some restrictions. City tiles may be placed anywhere except a space reserved for an ocean and not next to another city. Placing a city tile also increases a player's mega credit production. Greenery tiles may be placed adjacent to another tile the player owns if possible. These tiles may not be placed on reserved ocean spots either. Each greenery tile increases the oxygen level by 1 and thus increases the player's TR. Ocean tiles must be placed on spaces reserved for oceans, and whenever a tile is placed in a space with a bonus, the player receives that bonus. There are also a handful of special tiles that have their own requirements and restrictions. Placed tiles are always marked with the player's cube and will be worth victory points at the end of the game for various conditions. Each of these standard projects is considered its own action. Players may also play a project or event card from their hand as an action by paying the card's mega credit cost. Red event cards are resolved, then put face down in an event pile. Automated green cards are resolved, then stacked face up to show any tags. Tags are used in various ways, creating synergies between cards. Blue active cards are played face up and stacked so that any available actions are shown. Any effects at the bottom of blue cards are resolved when it is played. From then on, players may activate any actions they have available once per round, placing a cube on it to indicate it has been used. Players can also take an action to convert 8 plants into a greenery tile or 8 heat to increase the temperature track. These actions can be taken as many times as the player can afford each round. Players may also take an action to claim a milestone or fund an award by paying the necessary mega credits. Milestones will cost the same for the first 3 players to claim 1, and claiming awards will increase in cost after the first player claims 1. In order to claim a milestone, a player must meet the requirements. These milestones and awards will give players victory points at the end of the game. Players may choose to pass their turn at any point, but this means they can no longer take actions in the current round. When a player can no longer take any actions, they must pass. When all players have passed, it is now time to move on to the production phase by adding resources to the players' pools based on their current production values. Then players remove any cubes from their action cards, and a new round is ready to begin. At the start of a round, the first player marker is moved clockwise to the next player. Then, each player draws 4 new project cards and pays 3 mega credits for each card they want to keep, discarding the rest. Cards are always discarded face down. Once all players have paid for their chosen cards, the action phase starts again with the first player. When all of the global parameters have reached their goals, the game ends after the production phase of that round, with each player having one last chance to convert plants into greenery tiles, triggering any placement effects. After that, players add their terraforming rating, milestones, awards, points from placed tiles, and any points from cards played to total their score. The player with the highest total wins. Terraforming Mars is for 1 to 5 players with a very solid 1-player variant, is recommended for ages 14 and up, and plays in about 1 to 2 hours based on the number of players and their experience level with the game. There are several expansions currently available for Terraforming Mars, including the all-in-one storage solution. If you have any further questions, visit your friendly local game store or the Fryxgames website.